In this video, we will be showing you how to build a chase, a cue list, and adjust the timings for your cues. To get started, let's select some fixtures and create our first look. When we are done with our first look, we will press Save to Cue. We're going to set our recording mode to fixture and press the button above fader 15 to save it. We will now create 3 more cues and continue adding them to our list by pressing Save Cue and then the button above the fader. We now have a cue list that contains 4 cues. Next, we will give our cues timing data. To start, press Edit Playback, select our new cue list, and then press Edit Time. This will bring up a window where you can adjust the timings for your cues. The first 4 fade times on the left are considered global for that particular cue, which means they affect all the parameters saved in that cue. For now, we will ignore trigger, MIB, fixture overlap, snap percent, and order direction, as these will be covered in our other videos. Moving to the right, you will see individual time settings for other parameters. By setting individual times for parameters such as dimmer, this will override the global timing for that particular parameter. This will create a complex cue where different parameters within a cue can fade up with timings that are different than the global values. To explain how these timings work, let's check out a nifty chart. When you use global timing, the top black line references all the parameters in the cue you are going to. The bottom red line references all parameters in the cue you are coming from. The first global time you will set is a delay in. Delay in sets the amount of time that the console will wait before starting to fade fixtures up in your cue. Fade in sets the amount of time it will take for the fixtures to fade up to their new value after waiting the specified amount of time set in delay in. Delay out starts at the same time as delay in, but it applies to the channels from the previous cue that will be going to lower values. Fade out is the amount of time it will take for those fixtures to reach their lower values after waiting the amount of time set in delay out. When you set individual times for a parameter, that parameter will follow timings you set separately from the other fixtures, which will follow the global timing. For our 4 cue example, we will set the times as follows. When done setting our times, we will press Exit, and then we will choose one of the 3 link modes for our cue list. Automatic goes through the cues in a loop using your program timing. When we bring up our fader, it will automatically play back with our cue timing. You will see that at first nothing happens. This is because the console is waiting the 3 seconds we set in our delay in time before we see the dimmer start fading up, which takes the additional 2 seconds as we set the fade in time. The delay out and fade out times do nothing because there is no cue before it that will change because we will run this in a loop. After running through once, Q3 will come before Q1. This now continues an infinite loop. To speed up or slow down a cue list executing in automatic mode, you can adjust the speed with encoder wheel D. By adjusting this time, you will change all of your cues' timing by a percentage. For example, a 5-second fade with the speed set at 50% will now be 2.5 seconds. The next link mode is manual. This gives us full manual control over our cues and will require a button push to advance through your cue list, regardless if the cues are linked or not. When in manual or normal link modes, the bump button at the bottom of each fader now becomes a go button that will advance you to the next cue. Since we will be controlling these manually, we will remove our delay times as we will not need these. Now, let's see how it works as a go button. The last link mode is normal. This is the mode that you will use most often. Normal mode will require the push of a button to advance unless you link them to another cue. To do this, you will go to Edit Playback and then select your cue list. You choose the cue you wish to link from and change the link to on. This will make this cue automatically follow after the previous cue completes. Please note, on the Enigma M4, the console will not allow you to advance to the next cue until the previous cue finishes in its entirety. The last thing we will cover in this section is how to change your cue list into a chase. When you change your cue list to a chase, the console will disregard all your timing data and play back your cue list by the speed on encoder D. To do this, select Edit Playback and then choose the playback you wish to convert into a chase. Now, tap on Chase Mode. You will see that your cue list is now a chase. To change it back, you can always press Chase Mode again. Also, you will need to change your link mode to automatic for a chase to work. We will now run our 4-cue cue list we created as a chase. You will now see that the cues running in order without any of the delays or fades we put in earlier. To slow down the speed, we will use encoder D. You will notice that the speed is now set as time and not a percentage. To use a manual time, enter the number of seconds on the numeric keypad and then tap on the speed frame to change it. To sync your chase to the rhythm of music, tap on the touchscreen box above wheel D to turn it pink. Then tap the physical D encoder to the beat of the music. Please note, this also works with cue lists in automatic mode as well.